Deborah Malett from Distinctively Delicious Catering. I'm quite excited today because we're launching our new episode of cooking series that I'm sure you're going to find distinctively delicious. One of the first recipes we'll be doing today will be berry friands. To make these yummy berry friands, you're going to need 1 dozen egg whites, preferably free-range eggs. These ones have come from our backyard from our chickens. You're going to need 480 grams of icing sugar mixture. You're going to need 250 grams of almond meal and 150 grams of plain flour and 370 grams of butter, which will melt, so melted butter. And you're going to need some berries, so you could choose whatever berries you like. I have blueberries today. Raspberries are my absolute favourite. You can have chocolate, whatever you like, strawberries, whatever's in season. So you can decide, but about 140 grams, and this will be enough to make about 24 friands. And now it's time to start. First thing you need to do is to turn on your oven to fan forced at about 175 degrees. So if you have a hot oven, you might want to turn that down to about 160 or so. And the first thing we're going to do is to melt our butter. And I find the best way to do this and the quickest way to do this is in the microwave. Okay, now it's time to get cracking. So we're going to put our egg whites into this bowl, and we don't need the egg yolks for this recipe. So I'm going to hold these back. Separated and we have them in our mixing bowl, we just need to lightly whisk them up. So that's just a matter of just getting in there with this whisk and spreading them up. After about 30 seconds or so, your egg whites will have just frothed up a little bit like that, so you don't want to take it any further than that. Because friands are quite a dense little cake, so to aerate these egg whites anymore, you're going to lighten them up, and that's what we want to avoid. So 30 seconds or so and you'll end up with a little bit of froth like this. The next step is going to be now to add our dry ingredients, so that's our icing sugar mixture, our almond meal and plain flour. Now some people will sift these ingredients, and probably that's the right technical thing to do, but I've made tons and tons of these friands and find it very successful that it doesn't require the sifting, so I don't bother. So in it goes, just throw it all in. Almond mixture first, followed by the almond meal and plain flour. At this point I do give it a really good mix, just to incorporate and break any of those lumps. Pretty happy with that. A few little lumps still in there, but once we add that butter and continue mixing through, that will be fine. Okay, after about 1.5 minutes or so in the microwave, our butter has completely melted. Now this is quite hot, so I would like to let it cool down for about 3 or 4 minutes or so, just so that it's not too hot when we add it to our other ingredients. Now about 4 or 5 minutes or so has passed. Now I'm going to slowly incorporate our butter. When I say slowly incorporate, I mean we can pour the whole lot in, but if you begin to vigorously stir, I guarantee you'd be wearing this butter. So I'm just slowly using that whisk to almost fold through the melted butter into our almond meal mixture. So I'm just going to do that for the next minute or so, just until it's really well combined. Our moulds are probably about, I think about a third of I usually put about a third of a cup into each little mould, so they're probably half cup size. Now that we're really well combined, we need to spray our mould. So just making sure that you really do spray these very well with one of these cooking sprays. This one's a canola oil spray. You need to really make sure that you do spray them well, because of the high sugar content in the friands, they tend to stick. So getting them out of the moulds at perfect timing is really crucial. But I just make sure that I give these a good spray, ensuring that I catch all the areas of the moulds. And we're probably going to need about 4 moulds for this, so we'll just keep going and yeah, keep spraying. Just using some greaseproof paper, I've cut down these little sort of rectangular strips, which I'm going to put just in the base of each little hole in this little friand mould. And I just find that helps with some of the sticking or avoiding sticking with the friands once they're done, because as I said, with that high sugar content, they have a tendency to stick and stick down the bottom, so hopefully this will help. One of my obsessions with cooking is that I love things to be all very much the same size when I make them, so I have all these crazy quirky ways and devices, and very simple really, but I use a lot of measuring cups and I weigh things. So for these I usually tend to do a 1/3 cup into each of the little hole in the friand mould. So just 1/3 of a cup, so I just scoop it with my finger, just wipe around the edge and just pour it in. Just give it a bit of a scoop with my finger and onto the next one. So just keep going until they're all done. Probably I won't quite get 24 out of this batch with the 1/3 measuring cup, but it'll be pretty close. So with my pedantic measuring systems, probably been a bit more generous than I should be in allowances. I probably will only end up with about 18 to 21, not even 21 friands. So if you want to make them a little smaller, well, maybe 1/4 of a cup or so, but I like them to be nice and high. I think they look nicer. So now I'm just popping the friands into our preheated oven, and before you comment to me, I haven't put the fruit on there just yet. I tend to find that if I put any toppings on their chocolate or berries, that they tend to sink at this stage. So I like to put them into the oven and until they're just set, the skin forms on the top. It takes about 5 minutes, and when that happens, I just quickly pop them out, pop the trays out and put the berries, chocolate, etc. on top of it, and then continuing cooking for about another 15 minutes or so. So about 5 minutes has passed, and our friands still have a bit of a wobble going on in the middle, and we can put our fruit on. So you can leave the others in the oven while you're doing this, so they continue cooking. So these are just some frozen berries that I've defrosted, and I'm just scattering them. A couple of them might sink a little, but that's okay. Probably putting about 6 or so. And this way I think, it avoids them sinking and sticking further to the bottom. So just scatter the berries. So after an initial 5 minutes, then adding our fruit, and probably about another 20 minutes, our friands are ready. So I'm just going to pop them up here. Just let them sit for a minute or so. Not much more than that, or else they will stick. So this is a very temperamental time. So just a minute or so, and then we'll get them out. There you have it, raspberry and blueberry friands, so easy to make. I do hope you give it a go, and I'm going to enjoy mine now with a lovely cup of tea.